Hello my friends, and welcome back to a continued blind Let's Play Ace Attorney Dual Destinies for the PS5. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today, well, I think we're just about finishing up this day. We need to talk to Athena, and then it's time the dream team figures out what happened 7 years ago. Hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day today. She was right by my side only a few short hours ago, but I feel like I haven't seen her in ages. Oh, Mr. Wright. And Pearly, too. I knew you would come. After all, the first step is the interview with the defendant. And because you're my friend, and I was worried about you. Thanks, boss. I'm not the only one who's worried either. Really? Who else? I saw Miss Woods today. She was so beside herself she came to find me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place. Oh, so you know, huh? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. That's alright. But there are some other things I'd like to ask you. Sure, you can ask me anything. I promise I won't keep any more secrets from you. Well, I will know because if I see any Cyclops. The day of the crime. Tell me about the day that Clay was murdered. I was actually at the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum. Right where the culprit fled to? Oh, that's not good. I never could fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the Hat to launch, I thought maybe if I went there, things would be different this time. That must have been taking a lot of courage to face your past like that. So I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been switched. There was a sign that said closed for repairs and they weren't letting anyone in. Yeah, the director couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there. But I stuck it anyway. Did you want to see that Hat 1 group photo? The one with your mother in it? I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. The jacket on display? Wait, that was Dr. Sykes? How one exhibit updated. A newspaper clipping, a photo of the people involved with the launch. And the jacket worn by Dr. Sykes. But I should have known it wouldn't be easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me. Everything around me was hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow. But I guess I passed out. When I came to, I was in the passage behind the rocket. I was in the shadows where people couldn't really see me. Maybe you got confused or went the wrong way when you were trying to leave. How long do you think you were unconscious, Athena? I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge too. My mind must have been still fuzzy, because my memory is vague after that. I don't remember how I got home. No memory, huh? This is gonna be tough. Which means, what if I'm the one who killed Clay? I think that's enough of that, Athena. Let's talk about something else. So, during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course, I believe her. But will anybody else? Your mother's work. What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing? Machines that could tell people's emotions by their tone of voice, and my special ability. Someday, when people travel to distant robots, their companions will be planets. Their companions will be robots. So she said they had to be able to understand how the human companions felt. Wow, robots that can understand people? It was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work, and she never paid any attention to me. Oh, sorry about that. Dredging up all that old stuff. No need to apologize. I guess the home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you always wearing headphones. She always wore those big, heavy-looking headphones. So maybe she couldn't hear anything that was happening? Because she couldn't see anything? I mean, it's a possibility, right? No, not see anything. I'm sorry, hear anything. FlightlessBird, know your body parts. Ears, they allow you to hear, not see. Whatever. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. I had to wear them every time I went out. Oh, I hated them so much. But she wouldn't listen. What were they for? Oh, she gave me some kind of explanation. But I don't remember now. It was too difficult for a little kid to understand. Okay. But let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research. I want to believe that. But just about the only things my mother left me with are widget. And this earring. Oh. Very pretty. By the power of the moon, we will figure out the truth. Oh, it's beautiful. It's made of a real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me, in her own way. I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I want to believe, too. Moonrock earring added to the court record. An earring that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena. The stone was cut from a real moonrock that was being used for research. Why is this evidence? I better ask her a little bit more about her mother's research. I could show her that paper I found in the robotics lab. If I can press buttons correctly. Oh, the Ponko series. You must have gone to the robotics lab. You seem to really love Ponko and Klonko. Yeah, my mother made them, and I grew up around them, you know? Oh, there's one of those cute little robots in this photo, too. Yeah, it's all bandaged up, too. Uh-huh. See, Ponko's bandages. I put those on here. I just run them around and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. Oh! I thought maybe she was getting beat up. No, that's adorable. I hardly left the center those days, so I don't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, bandaging it would help it get better. What a weirdo I was. Aw, that's adorable. It looks like there's something written on the bandages. Yeah, I wrote stuff like, get well soon, Ponko. Looks like a cast. But in the end, my mom just put her in the operating table and fixed her in a flash. Oh, that must be the thing move in the robotics lab. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked like just like magic to me. What she could do. A little girl who grew up around robots. She seems to have some good memories of it. 7 years ago. On a different subject, did you hear about the person holding up the space center? Yes, a little. And this person has even taken hostages. I guess I better spare the news about Trucy. Well, after some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago. What? You're kidding me. So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might? Yep. I know he's innocent. Just had to prove it. So wait. Did you know him back then? Yes, he used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask her for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate, and straight as an arrow. Unlike now, where he's more twisted than a basket of snakes, and he fires arrows. Or knives, swords. That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago. Please, you had to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he did kill her. I was a fool. How could anyone else know what I was talking about? Well, she heard the voice of his heart. That's so poetic. Even at a young age. And is she wearing an earring as a necklace? You're only 11 then, right? You were very brave to give that testimony. Pearls is right. You did the very best you could at the time. But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaken and scarred little girl, small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with my relatives in Europe, I stayed closed up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful. Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard, and I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. Why became a lawyer? I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Well, then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was there with me, supporting me. It doesn't seem like Athena knows that Prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow. I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally. I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him. Come to think of it, she did say something like that during the Demons Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. I remember that. I even questioned that. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell. I heard some prison guards say that you had an interview with Simon. How was he? What did he say? No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent. He was. I wonder if he smiled like he used to back then. If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here. Whoa! Jeez, jump scared by Fulbright. Ah, I thought you might be here, Mr. Lawyer. We're in trouble. We are? What is it? I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session. Well, why don't we go back to Themis Legal Academy? Can we use ours? Oh no, but this is an emergency. It's very difficult to interrupt a trial once it's underway. Always cool hearing that. You know what's weird? When Maya changed his phone to this song. He's never changed it back. Like 7 years later, he still has that same phone ring from Maya. Ain't that adorable? My phone. It's from Tracy. I told you I'd give you 1 hour. I guess it's time to pick off one of the hostages. No, wait. We still have a little more time. Besides, all the courtrooms are being used right now. Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter is first. The poor thing, she's a little too young to die, don't you think? No, don't you dare hurt her. There has to be something I can do. The coolest injustice is about to befall us. No, this can't be happening. Mystic Maya, help us. Wait a minute. Maya? I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have really meant something, although weird is par for the course with you. Wait, we're gonna use the exploded courtroom? A courtroom blew up? That's it! There is a courtroom we can use after all. Okay, time's is up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her? Hold it! Please don't add to the crimes you've already committed. So you know who I am, do you? It wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret anyway. We're ready to start the trial. We can hold it in the ruins of courtroom number 4. The one that was blown up by the bomber. Oh, what a wonderful idea, Mr. Nick. I like my idea better of going to Demon's Legal Economy, but this works too. I never would have thought of that. An astonishing trial in an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away. I didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing factor. How about it? Are you ready to have your brother's innocence proven? My brother. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? It's not Simon you'll be defending. What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell? I indict Athena Sykes on the charge of murdering her own mother! Wow, that's morbid. You'll be defending the little princess there, the one behind the glass. What? I'll see you in that mountain of rubble that you've chosen for your courtroom, Mr. Wright. Oh, what is she talking about? Athena? Of course. Why did it ever occur to me before? If Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent, somebody else had to have been the true culprit. Did I kill my own mother? No, 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 no! Whoa. Oh my god, that's a lot of Cyclops. No way. Can't. True. Mr. Nick, what's the matter? I see 5 black Cyclops. I've seen these kind of locks before. Dark, black locks. Protecting a secret deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them. December 20th, 3:11 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Oh, 5. Thought we were going in courtroom number 4. I did a little research. I looked into those special psych locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. You did? That's great. I really appreciate it. Sorry. A red psych lock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide. If the person falls under questioning, the lock breaks and the truth comes out. Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth. Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos. But a black psych lock protects a secret for the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that the person isn't even consciously aware of. So even they don't know it's there. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. Okay, so all I have to do is break the psych locks. According to my research, a black psych lock is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they are ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul. In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden. Alright. But will you be alright by yourself, Mr. Nick? I'm up against Edgeworth. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength. And you can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back. No, that's not it. I just meant I could relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who can do it, Pearls. Alright. I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick. Thanks, Pearls. Good. Now that my mind is at ease, I better get ready. I'll just, tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago. December 20th, District Court, courtroom number 4. Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even a few people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground. Oh, we got the judge to help out too. The court, or, some facility thereof, is now in session of the trial of Athena 6. Not a facility, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages snap. Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you. The court is now in session for the very serious, yes, the very proper trial of Athena 6. I got Edgeworth back. This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous farce. Oh, what did you say? Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to his honor? However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered in the odious dark age of the law. I see what you're after. If we could find the real truth behind that case today. Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled and glory shall be restored to the court system. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this, truth. I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover up for someone else. Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I'm sorry, Wright, but the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the count of murder in the first degree.
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
Then you'd better bring it.
If the two of you are ready. Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
The prosecution is also ready.
Sounds like this. I wish the game was fully voiced. I know dialected voices and it's fun, but they hear those professionals do their job. It makes me wish that they had gone full in. Or not at all, because by having the voice, even a little bit, it kind of messes me up because I'm like, well, I can't compete with that. All right, let's go. There's immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off. It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity. But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt that Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? The very least, I know it wasn't Samin Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what the person is. To put it simply, a spy. The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy. Well, now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. No need for the Chief Prosecutor bit, Your Honor. I'm here as a simple prosecutor. Very well, your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself, yes indeed, I'm quite impressed. In all the trials I have seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement. Of course, you're right, I was just joking. I was having a little bit of fun. In this very serious trial, of course. So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting. Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Betty Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor. Athena's mother. Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. One, Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And two, this photo which captured the moment of the crime. It seems like very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed. Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of that kind. This opening statement is over. Now hurry up and call the witness. Excuse me, Miss Blackwell. We must follow proper procedure for these things, you know. Or perhaps we should just heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly and sitting for too long can't be good for your back. Oh, you are very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly. As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see. The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years. new testimony? And just who is this witness anyway? Ara? Oh. Wasn't expecting that. Bobby Fulbright's the name in justice we trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak with the hostage taker, Ms. Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy with providing and threatening the hostages and all. That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Clunko. I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you. Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And her current actions are hardly lawful. I think we can at least hear her theory. I have heard Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation that she conducted. And I'll be giving testimony based on these notes. Here I go! Aura Blackwell's theory. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the scene of the time. They say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes. And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes to the face of the official ruling, huh? About the case she mentions, there were other ruling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling, they're apparently for moving parts and equipment. I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes. At the last trial, they thought the prosecutor Blackwell used a case to steal the rock. And they had a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab. And that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case. I can see why that footage helped to bring this trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure. 7-year-old video updated in the court record, video showing the corridor to the crime scene. Blackwell was the only one to pass through at the time of the crime. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant Athena Sykes found? She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center, in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death. Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give her proper testimony. And there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi? Well, that is what the evidence is saying. Yes. I understand the reason behind the theory, but I'm far from convinced. The victim is the accused's mother. You're actually claiming an 11-year-old girl? Of course, the girl had a very strong motive. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor? Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yeah, she's done it a few times in court. The ability to read emotions from speech, and the subject of her mother's research. Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it. I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research that she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting? I did my best to be delicate. But even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother. Order in the court. The tragic story I hardly want to believe myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could, Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes. Cross-examination. Ara Blackwell's theory. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone.
Hold it!
So, Prosecutor Blackwell willingly accepted a death sentence to protect someone else? Yes, that is precisely what Ms. Blackwell appears to believe. And that is what I believe as well. Prosecutor Blackwell is no murderer, Mr. Wright. But Athena Sykes certainly didn't kill anyone either, Mr. Edgeworth. So it appears neither of us can afford to go easy on the other. Fine, I expected no less. Oh, I remember this tense atmosphere. It's so invigorating. I'm only reading notes here, but yeah, I feel extra invigorated too, so let's keep going. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder.
Hold it!
But that's just speculation.
Objection!
No, Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection!
Oh, the back and forth. Like we're blasts from the past. Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection!
You're the one who screamed, "Hold it," and cut me off. Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun by a teeny weeny bit. Ha ha ha! Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on! I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case?
Hold it!
This rolling case, I suppose you mean the one that existed in the photo with Prosecutor Blackwell in it. The GYXA cases to the right? Or was absent when the crime scene photos were taken. Well, yes, that's the one. And Miss Blackwell has drawn a conclusion from these two photos. She has? And what is that conclusion? You're the one with her notes! Oh, right, of course. Reading them now. So why the rolling case? Let's see. Page 42, 53, 49. Oh! Ah, here it is. Because he was using it to hide someone inside, that's why.
Hold it!
And how do you propose he hid a person inside one of those cases? I've forgotten what we just saw. Just such a thing the other day. At your own daughter's magic show, she fit a grown person into a very small box. Oh yeah! Waiting for the memory of a good day, Edgeworth. A magic show? I wish you would have thought to invite me. Actually, I would have liked to go too. Yeah, I would have liked to go too as well. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time. I promise. So, wait a minute. What were you talking about again? Prosecutor Blackwell was using the case to hide someone. And the only other person sworn to fit inside that case was Athena's. Hey, you didn't let me finish. But that's nothing more than conjecture. And it's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the largest case just to move that rock.
Objection!
Be as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. Well then let me ask you this. Can you, come up with a better theory of what was in the case?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you?
Yikes. Give a guy some time to think, would ya? Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been the case? Sure, why not? It's the traditional Phoenix Wright way. I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just had to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat.
Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory, if that's true, that is.
This is a crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackwell left, correct? Coat, sword. All we had to do is compare this with this photo of Prosecutor Blackwell to see what's missing. I mean, there's that bandage thing. That looks like... Didn't Athena wrap Klonko's arm in bandages? Is that what he put in the case? Klonko's arm? If he took something with him, then it should be in one of these photos. Lady Luck, don't fail me now.
Alright then, Mr. Wright, let us hear your theory. What did Prosecutor Blackwell take from the scene of the murder?
I'm guessing it's this.
Take that!
Please notice that there's a robot part on the top of this cart in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime, and it's big enough to be fit in a large case too.
You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture.
But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which. Or are you looking at I'm gonna start charging for each glance per eyeball? Stingy, stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about this robot part. Does it look like it could be an arm for that robot there?
Well, now that you mention it, does, doesn't it? But the case is so big. Too big to be practical for just a moon rock and a robot arm.
Question is, why is the end of the robot arm red? But was it really just the arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe. I believe there was another robot at the scene that looks just like the one here. Your Honor, it is its defense's assertion that it was this other robot that was in the case.
What?
Objection!
Why? We can't be certain that part belonged to a robot. Yes, it looks like the arm of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it difficult to verify what it is.
Objection!
I know for a fact that it's a robot arm because it's in the picture. I can even tell which robot it belonged to just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not.
But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of a technological illiterate type. When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned.
Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. But I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to. That.
Take that!
The robot in this picture is named Punko. But take a look at Punko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
She must have thought that machines heal in the same way people do. How cute. What an adorable, naive mistake. Reminds me of my own grandchild.
The robot arm at the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Punko.
Order in the court, order I say. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I could see the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knees and curl itself up into a ball. Even if it was the largest of cases, the robot could not possibly fit in there.
Well, the case does come up about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell. See your point. The robot is much taller than that.
They've got me there. Unless the robot was dismantled. So then, did Prosecutor Blackwell make Punko fit in the case by dismantling her? Yeah, I just said this. Of course Punko would fit. All Prosecutor Blackwell had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could easily have fit inside that rolling case. It appears to be a robot assembly device. Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
It sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point here.
Objection!
Except that there was a body on the table where robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart.
Objection!
But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead? Ooh, gruesome.
You mean the sword?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I like your opinion as a woman of science! Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart? I suppose so. Their joints aren't made of very tough material. A blade could slice through them. Thank you for your expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know that the existence of the severed arm in this photo proves that Punko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Punko was not found at the scene, we could conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation.
You can't mean.
That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana. Oh. Most likely, the rest of Punko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackwell's feet. Not hearing this! Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes never was at the scene at the time of the murder. My body, where am I? I love that one, that was hilarious. The head just explodes, like, where's my head?
Order in the court.
It's true that Punko was found in pieces after the murder. And I'll admit that I repaired her myself afterwards. For the crime update in the court record, the photo shows Blackwell taking the robot apart. There's blood stain on the end of the robot's arm. That's why there was redness there. I kept going back to that. Why is it red? Why is it red? Why is it red? Totally makes sense now. Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully, I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell innocent.
Objection!
Famous finger wag. Well played, Mr. Wright. You made your point abundantly clear. I could see that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot. All right. Wait, what's going on here? It's never good when he plays things like this straight.
Does the prosecution wish to withdraw its claim the defendant was carried away from the scene?
No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
But Punko and Miss Sykes could have been both inside that case.
Objection!
The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense. Edgeworth. He's been one step ahead of me this whole time once again.
Well, in that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene?
Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he was holding something or someone.
That's hardly evidence.
I have proof. The surcoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape.
A blood stain with a distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there's only one in the world. A special pair of headphones made just for her. She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Analysis showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. Uh-oh. In other words, this was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones, and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp.
A most gruesome stamp indeed.
Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by a splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Athena Sykes was, without question, present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument. Once again, always ahead of me.
Order! Alright, the defendant was indeed at the scene and deep in suspicion against her.
Objection!
But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well.
Objection!
I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer. I don't really think that, no, but you can't say the possibility isn't there. That was one of my, common theories for a while, is that it was a murder robot. Something that's been reprogrammed to, kill someone. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time?
No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case.
But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Punko to the stand.
Robot witness?
I mean, why not? We've had a bird, we've had a killer whale. I mean,
Order in the court. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think about this?
Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to stand over the years.
Yep, that's exactly what I just said.
So why not a robot? I mean, nothing really surprises me anymore with him.
Very well, I will allow the witness, bailiff. Please summon the robot named Ponko.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is not Witness. My name is Paco.
Yes, I realize that, but when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not. I'm Paco. Say it with me. Paco.
What an utterly inflexible little robot. You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible.
Ah, you remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name. Oh, how precious.
Alright, Ponko, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions. Hooray! What are your questions?
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Metis Sykes. It was 7 years ago, on the 7th of October around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab.
It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all. This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important.
Murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable, I say.
The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild.
So, little Ponko, you think you can give us your testimony today?
What I saw.
I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point.
Well, it sounds like the defendant was without question at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder.
I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime.
What?
At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that the witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited.
So what are you suggesting?
The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down at being hugged by a child.
They don't, but
Yes. What this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with a murder weapon during this moment.
What?
No, I think it means hugged as in literally hugged. And then she fell down, probably because she had been killed. But Athena didn't realize it, and she fell down in front of her. Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said.
Okay, well there goes that theory.
Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean that they argued.
I see. Murder after heated argument. And then the victim fell down. I agree that this does sound like reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, right? A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now, think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. Yeah, but could its data have been, like, programmed incorrectly? Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. And I think we're going to do that in the next episode, my friends. I want to thank you for everything y'all are. The #1 YouTube community, all of YouTube. Can't say how much I appreciate you all. How much I love you all. You guys are just amazing and awesome. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. You guys rock. Thank you for everything. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, amazingly awesome day. And I'll see you again next time on our continued blind Let's Play Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Until then, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.